Thank you, James. Please still your mind. एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भव निर्वैर अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभंग गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच. Today, I'm going to share something with you for you to understand. The ascension of the soul from the gross mind past the undermind and beyond the nij mind towards the tirka. Throw an apple into the air. What happens? It will go a certain height and it will come back to earth. Anything that is born from this world, however high you throw it, will only fall back to earth. Maya is also part of this world. When this world is no more, Maya will be no more. And anyone who is connected to Maya through attachment, expectations, will remain grounded, caught in the gravitational pull of the gross mind. Therefore, the first rule of spirituality is to be part of the world, not to be in the world. No attachment to the world means no Maya. Let me clarify something here. Living in this world, doing business in this world, enjoying the world is beautiful. But when we lose ourselves in the world, then we have lost ourselves in Maya. So, in spiritual understanding, we have to lose our focus in this world. No attachment to the world means no Maya. No Maya means no gravitational pull that is pulling you down from the gross mind. And no gravitational pull from the gross mind will mean that your soul is free to soar the highest divine experiences. Look at a candle. You light a candle and you turn the candle upside down. What happens to the flame? The flame is still facing upwards towards the sun. The soul is like the flame. It is not part of the Maya world. It was always divine. The world of Maya is a downward path. The world of the divine is an upward path. They are two completely polar opposites. The mind falls, the soul rises. The mind falls because of its attachment to the illusion. Otherwise, the mind in itself is divine. मन तू ज्योत स्वरूप है अपना मूल पहचान. The mind is divine, but engrossed in this world, it has lost its identity. It has, in fact, forgotten its identity. And as a consequence, our every aspect of the human mind and emotions and expectations are no more than fleeting sense of pain and joy, which arises from a mind that is attached to the Maya world that we live in. And like that apple that falls back to earth, however far we try to rise spiritually, we will only rise so far, then fall back to our lower self. And as a consequence, we are held slaves in this gravity of Maya. Sadly, the soul, which was divine and free to enjoy the celestial music of the universe, is caught in the bondage of the mind and Maya. The soul needs the mind to set itself free. Life after life, birth after birth, because of the frivolous nature of the Maya mind living in the gross, the soul suffers, drowning in the uncontrolled nature of the turbulent oceans of Maya. Rising, falling, rising, falling. And as long as the soul remains tied to the desires of the mind, despite all our spiritual practices, our soul cannot go back to its source. So what can we do to free the soul and to build a relationship with the mind? Now imagine you have an article of clothing and you wish to change the color. So you take your article of clothing to a dye specialist and you ask the specialist to change the color of the material. The specialist takes the article of clothing off you and places on one side of the shop. He brings some water and he puts it on the other side of the shop. And he brings some dye and he puts that on the other side of the shop. They're all in the same place, but they are apart. And as a consequence, no change of color will occur to the article of clothing. Why? Despite all the ingredients, there is no connection between the water, the dye, and the material. In a similar way, we perform all spiritual activities, and yet we struggle to connect with the divine within us. The dark nature of the mind, despite all the spiritual practices, remain in darkness, and consequently, the soul remains a prisoner in this body cage. Years of meditation, spiritual practices, going to church, temples, masjids, reading the scriptures, and yet no significant change occurs within us. Why? Like that material in the dye shop, we perform all our spiritual practices whilst our mind is elsewhere. Our focus is here, our mind is there, our intentions are here. We are scattered. And we have not dipped our mind in the container full of the Shabd dye. And here we have to reflect. This is not the fault of mantras. This is the fault that we do not know how to dye ourselves. Man mere, mere man ek sasyon chit laye, ek, one. One. Focus everything towards that one. So where do we start? How can we build this focus? The ancient scriptures guide us. Kar sangat net sadki gur charani chet laye. And remember, on this forum, I will only stick to scriptures. Not opinions, scriptures. The first step is to find the association of the pious, those who are connected, those who are blessed, those who are preordained, those who have done the path. The association of the pious is known as the Sangat. And in the Sangat, the process of dying, spiritual dying of the mind will begin. We go into the Sangat, into the company of the pious, with the colors, unsavory colors of the dark mind, only to be dyed into the magnificent colors of universal love. How will this happen? In the Sangat, or the company of the pious, our scattered focus and determinations, the presence of mind, our faith, every aspect of us which is going to make our spirituality successful will be gathered. Slowly removing the colors of Maya, making it ready to be soaked in the dye of the Shabd. And the more our mind remains soaked in the Sangat, in the dye of the Shabd, the more our mind will begin to be imbued with the beautiful colors of divine love. Consequently, slowly, the erratic mind will begin to still. Then in still waters of the mind, we will begin for the first time to see the reflection of who we really are. Is it easy? Not at all. Many saints, yogis, rishis have disappeared into the jungles to try to win the battle of the mind, and ultimately fails. And in the society of the preordained, there is one teaching that they will share: not to enter a battle with the mind. Try not to exert control over the mind. Rather, slowly begin to develop a loving friendship with the mind. Mitra, friendship. Man pyarya jiyo mitra, Gobind naam samale. Oh my friend, oh my mind, let us meditate. Because this is not a battle we will win. When we develop a relationship, we will begin to have an influence of our mind. We will slowly begin to change the direction of the mind. And as the direction of the mind begins to change, it will realize that it had been stuck in the middle of the Trigunas of the mind senses. Trigun, Rajagun, Tamgun, Satgun. At the moment, who drives us? Who is the master and who is the prisoner? The mind is the master. We are the prisoners. My mind, my mind. I think, I want, I. All generated from the mind. And as we meditate in the Sangat of the pious, this role will begin to change. Slowly, we will become the master. The mind becomes the servant. Imagine if we have a flame in our hands, and as long as we control this flame, we can get this flame to cook, to heat, to do anything that's needed for our comfort. Now imagine if the flame becomes the master, it will simply burn, consume, and turn us into ashes. Similarly, if we become friends with the mind, we can change the direction of the thoughts. This will make our spiritual path much easier. There was a rishi. He was originally a king, and he left his kingdom, went into the jungles to meditate. For many years he meditated on the divine, and his reputation spread far and wide. A king from another kingdom developed a desire to expand his kingdom. And he had heard a lot about the rishi and thought that rather than having a big battle, it will be far easier to control this rishi. And by controlling this rishi through default, he will have control over all that the rishi owns. So this king prepares for war. And with his army, the first thing he did was to make his way to the rishi. Deep into the jungles, they went. And he eventually approaches the rishi and finds the rishi in deep meditation, deep samadhi. Listening to the noise of the troops, the rishi opened his eyes. And in front of him was the king and many soldiers. The rishi calmly looked at the king and said, I know why you are here, but you are fighting the wrong enemy. I am very weak. If you are a true warrior, then there is a much stronger enemy that is worthy of the fight. The king went quiet. Who is this enemy you talk about? The rishi replied, my king, even when I think about this enemy, my soul begins to shiver. Even mentioning the name frightens me to the core. I am hiding in this jungle trying to evade this enemy who is undefeatable. The king retorted, do not waste your time on me. If you want to fight a true battle, then fight this enemy. The king looked at the rishi and said, Rishi, tell me the name of this enemy. Tell me where this enemy lives. I will show you my greatness. And in his ego he shouts, Rishi, listen, either I will remain or my enemy will remain. There will be no place for two in my kingdom. The rishi smiles. King, this enemy is within you. And I advise you that you make friends with it, or you will die by it, for you will never conquer it. Who is this enemy that you fear so much? Retorted the king. The rishi replied, King, this is the enemy which we call the mind. The king turns back towards his kingdom, and try as he may, he could not defeat the relentless waves of his mind. He could not gain control of his mind. And it is said that finally he burns himself alive at a place called Katisraj. To sing the praises of the divine is easy. We can all sing the praises. To give money to charity is easy. To do some charitable task, it's easy. To dance to the tune of spiritual music is easy. To play instruments, to please the divine in Kirtan is easy. To attend satsang is easy. Prostrations to the divine is easy. However, to self-introspect is hard. To befriend and to ultimately convince the mind that there is a better way forward, a path towards the enlightenment, that is not easy. Manajite Jagjeet were not easy. In Sangat over time, the mind will begin to listen, will become a friend, not an enemy. The outward mind will begin to turn inwards. And with the blessings of the pious, all the desires born from Maya will begin to fade away. And as we progress towards the inner universe, the soul will begin to free itself from the cage of this body. The soul will begin to experience what is known as the Sumera of divine peace. Many spiritualists explain a spiritual experience as follows: that there is a mountain not of this place, known as Sumera or Miru. This mountain stands tall in the center of the universe. It is said that this is the abode of Brahma, the abode of deities, the abode of saints and preordained souls. This is the place where the devotees abide after the physical death of the body. This mountain, this Sumera, goes deep below the ground to the nether regions and expands high up to the mountains, all inside, all inside. The height of this mountain is said to be 66,076,000 miles. 676000. 676000. Or 84 yojana. These were how mileages were measured, through yojanas. This mystical mountain is important to the Jains and the Buddhists. It's a beautiful, peaceful, mystical, divine place where the saints, true saints, find recluse from the inferno of Maya of this world. However, those that go very deep into Samadhi, share a more profound teaching. That once the mind enters into the Sangat, and as the process of dying the mind is taken place, the soul will begin to travel towards its origins. And on its way, circumnavigating the many traps of the Maya, as it arises from the gross mind, through the Andman, Nejman, and traveling towards the Nejgar, the 10th gate, will encounter another experience, the vibration of the cosmic orchestra of divine frequencies. These frequencies are known as Shabds. And certain teachings, especially in the yogic traditions, are referred to as the Panch Shabd. And in the yogic tradition especially, the panch, meaning 5 distinct sounds, the 5 primal sounds. And these sounds typically, but not restricted to the meditational practitioner, is described as such. Singi, a yogi's, is like a horn sound, a kind of a trumpet sound that they experience in their meditation. A peri, like a kettle drum. A tur, an S-shaped trumpet. Bina, a type of string instrument, flute or lyre or harp. Ik sound of the one word, the primal sound. The Nesanum, the drum. Garud Shabd is that mantra that resounds inside and obliterates the poisonous effects of Maya. Kanta, the bell or the gong. Kunguru, small tinkling bells. Tanti Shabd, sound of vibrating strings. Ronchun, it's a tinkling sound, jingle or chime. Babiha, music of the rainbow. Babiha piryo piryo kare. And Kingari. Kingari is a single string musical instrument, also mentioned in the times of Mahabharata. Very old saj that the yogis used to use. Very old instrument. In the Sikh scriptures of the Guru Granth Sahib, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, the 5th Guru, writes, Kinkari anupavaje yogiya matvarore. And he's describing a scene that there's a yogi who's playing an instrument called a kinkuri, a stringed musical instrument. The yogi is so intoxicated with the outside sound of the kinkuri that there was another beautiful sound going on inside him, very similar to a kinkuri. A far more beautiful, divine, deep, celestial music being played in the self of the mind. But so outwardly is this yogi's mind to the instruments that the yogi is ignorant to anup. Anup meaning this unique sound within. Because that yogi is still in the 3 gunas. The Rajgun, Tamgun, and the Sattvic. And those who have risen past those 3 guna are known as the true yogis. And these yogis no longer depend upon man-made instruments. They don't need outside music to focus their mind. It's shallow. I remember my master once said to me, son, when are you going to open your inner ear? Many years back. And the scriptures say, Eo kinkari anupavaje son yogi ke man mithi lage. This kinkuri, this resonating deep within, this sound is pleasing to the true yogi, not these artificial sounds. This is what you call the unhad. This is what you call the unstruck melody of the divine. Unstruck because it doesn't beat against anything. Any resonance that we create outside is artificial. It has to beat one against the other. Whether you're doing the singing bowls or whatever you're playing, it's one instrument on the other. The true yogi goes past the 3 gunas, all that is out the window, and they listen to the celestial music within. Worlds and realms, nether regions, solar systems, galaxies are revealed. Deepalopatala te khandumandala heran. The strings and the harps vibrate and resound. Here, the soul of the spiritualist sings and dances to the beat of the vibration, of the unstruck melody of the mystical sounds of the celestial realms. However, some who've actually gone even higher. They say they're not just 1 or 5 or 10 or 20 frequencies, there are countless frequencies. They simply vibrate and they all sound like one frequency, but in that one frequency, there are many, 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 many subdivision of frequencies. You have a satellite channel, and in this one channel that is beamed into your house, how many channels are incorporated? Little frequency changes, little frequency changes, little frequency changes, and you can tune into whichever channel you wish to watch. Similarly, what sounds as a one resonance is actually a multitude, countless resonances. Naam jinke man vasya vaje shabd tenere. When your mind is imbued in this divine love that we have just spoken about, Kanhere means countless, countless shabds will be heard. And then those who go even further into the soul journey, they reveal to us about a place known as Sun. Sun. Sun mandal ek jogi baise, nar na purkh kaho kaise. A profound stillness beyond the noise of the sound of the cosmos, beyond the noise of the Panch Shabds. Absolute profound stillness. A place where there is no desire and no thoughts. And all these experiences are very individual. My experience will not be the same as yours. This is beauty. And whatever type of experience we enjoy within us, the journey is beautiful and out of this world. I remember my master used to say to me, son, carry on. Do not spend time on these experiences. When I used to approach him about certain experiences, he would kick my backside and tell me, get on one. Don't talk to me about them. This is not the end. He used to say, carry on. This journey is full of experiences, son. If you stay with these experiences, you will be caught in another trap. Son, the ultimate destination is merging into the divine. And one thing we have to understand, language is limited. It has boundaries. It can only describe very, very fractional part. This is an experience. When you become one, when you become the listener and you become the person who's meditating. And it's like trying to understand. It's imagine if a grain of sand trying to understand the mysteries of the magnitude of a desert. One grain of sand. This is how these thoughts are, just grains of sand. Words have boundaries. Only the divine will ever understand its own secrets. Only the divine. Enjoy them. Start the path. Enjoy them. They're beautiful. Beautiful journey. Everything is inside you. Jo Brahmand hai, so hi pind hai. Jo khojai, so paavai. Pipa parmai param tat hai, satguru hoy. Through the true Guru, make this journey. But don't try to describe too much of it because it's impossible. The experience will be brought down to a very mundane human level. Only the divine will ever understand its own secrets, its own beauty, its own magnificence. So, my brothers, my sisters, my sons and daughters, let's just make this journey together. Stay humble. Be content. Learn to love. It's not a race. We can only go so far. Charan Sharan Guru Ek Panda Jai Chara Satguru Kot Panda Age Hui later. And the journey carries on and carries on until you become one, and then you completely merge into the divine, and nothing of us will remain. God bless you all. Thank you very much for listening. Share with
Thank
others
you.
if you find these sessions useful. These are true, authentic teachings from the scriptures.